Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Oh, awesome. Okay, cool. Apologies for the delay. I just came from another meeting as it goes.
No, Matthew. Is Manisha visible to you?
Yes. Give me one moment while I fire up my screen share. Hi there. I'm Manisha. Am I pronouncing your name correctly?
Yes. Manisha, is Matthew audible to you? Yes. Great then.
Okay, I can hear you.
Yeah. I'll drop off Matthew. You can take it on from you. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Hi, Manisha. How are you doing today?
Hi.
So I'll quickly go over the interview structure, a little bit about myself and the role, and I'll give you some time to introduce yourself,
Okay.
and then we'll dive into some security scenarios and maybe technical questions. So a bit about Amgen. Amgen is a global biopharmaceutical company specializing in the treatment of rare disease. So not necessarily like calling viruses and flus and things of that nature. It's like rare disease, rare forms of cancer. Amgen is very much a global company with facilities on every continent except Antarctica, probably due to have a not very habitable climate reasons. Our Cybersecurity Operations Center, or CSOC, we operate in a follow-the-sun model, 24/7, 365 for the most part, with small gaps in between. We're trying to minimize those gaps as much as possible. So, I'll go ahead and give you a moment to introduce yourself, and then we can dive in.
Sure.
So, would you be able to tell me a little bit about your experience in cybersecurity and security operations?
Okay. First of all, thank you for giving me. I am Manisha. I do have 3 years of experience in cybersecurity. Right now, I'm working as a SOC Analyst in Concentric, Hyderabad. My day starts with a shift handover call. I do checkups in any pending task in previous shift. If there are any pending tasks, I do keep them on a sticky notes, and I do check on regular daily basis alerts and assign them to me and start working on them. I also work on SIEM tools. I actively monitor the security events using Splunk Enterprise, IBM QRadar, log analysis, investigating incidents, and providing security solutions. Next, I also monitor the EDR alerts for suspicious activities, unauthorized access, and malware behavior by using some EDR tools like Microsoft Defender, Sentinel-1. And I do also work on phishing emails. I do email analysis in open source tools such as MS Toolbox, and I do IP address and URL reputation in VirusTotal. And at last, I also perform sandbox testing. By considering all this, if the email is looking suspicious, then we will block the IP in our organization. And I also work on Cortex in DLP tools like Microsoft Purview. And I also do threat advisory posts in our organization. Next, I also do handle P1, P2 incidents with the guidance of the lead, and following P3 and P4, I will do my own. Next. Okay, that's all about me.
Okay, thank you for sharing. So let's see. So you mentioned SIEM or SIEM, the Security Information and Event Management platform. So say if you were working and you didn't see any alerts for 8 hours, what would be your next steps?
I'm working here, so whenever I receive an alert, first I will assign to myself, and then I will start the incident try edge process. So based on the priority, I will assign the ticket and start working. So I will get work on different alerts like brute force alerts, phishing alerts, disable account alerts, suspicious user, on disabled account login.
So what if you didn't see any security alerts from your team for 8 hours? Or let's say you didn't see any security alerts for 24 hours.
So
what would your next steps be?
That maybe if there are no security alerts for 8 hours, maybe there is some issue with the SIEM tool, or might be some issue with ticketing tool, or maybe the log sources are down.
So what would your next steps be in those cases if it was one of those things?
So in this case, we do have a monitoring first, log stop agents. Also, whenever there are no logs, we will get an alert and we will escalate to the security engineering team and admin team. They will do the troubleshooting. But troubleshooting part, and if any connectors are down, or if any forwarders, any connection with the parsing or the forwarder.
Okay, so yeah, that's kind of what we're looking for, like escalate, contact the engineering team or the owners of the platform.
The engineering team will fix it. So I never faced this issue because basically I'm from the monitoring team. So I have an active participant in preparing the monthly reports and weekly reports and regular work on the learned and phishing elements, as well as award bringer turned analysis. And
okay. So let's pivot to a different, maybe something more related to an actual security alert. Say you received a security alert for traffic to a suspicious IP address. What tools can you use to enrich the IP address, determine more about it, determine if it is rated as malicious or has any history of malicious activity? What tools could you use to enrich an IP address?
Yeah, we use some open source tools like VirusTotal, Abuse, IPD, Cisco Talos, and these tools will use for IBM export and to capture the network, analyze the network traffic, from the suspicious IP address, I will use Wireshark and I will use TCP dump to capture and analyze network traffic to and fro from the suspicious address. And the IP reputation, I use threat intelligence tools, which already told you, like abuse IP, DB Cisco.
Okay, cool.
Virus
Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Really? No, I didn't. Okay. Cool. Let's pivot again. Let's talk a little bit about malware. Just at a high level, could you describe maybe 3 or 4 different types of malware, just by name, not necessarily like a distinct name, but like a high-level name, like, for example, a virus or a ransomware is another really popular one. But just tell me a few different types of malware and like a sentence about them.
So different types of malware. So Trojan is a type of malware that this gets itself as an estimate software. So this will allow unauthorized access, steal sensitive data, or demand ransom. And next is a spyware. Spyware is a type of malware that secretly monitors and collects the data. So it can compromise user privacy and ransom. Ransom is a type of malware that demands payments in exchange of restoring access to encrypted data. And backdoor is a type of malware that allows unauthorized access to the system. This can allow unauthorized access, steal sensitive data, or compromise system integrity. And worm bomb is a type of malware that spreads from system to system without the need of human interaction. And virus is a type of malware that can cause data loss or destruction from the system. I think this is the answer.
Okay, thank you. Awesome. So while we're on the topic of malware, one of the common attributes of malware is persistence, whereby the malware doesn't want to be removed and will try to maintain itself on the computer, server, laptop, PC, Mac OS. So let's see. Could you think of maybe a couple ways that malware might establish persistence?
Yeah, the persistent malware refers to the type of malware wherein that remains compromised system even if the system is restarted or the malware is seemingly removed. For example, this survives a system reboot and remain active. So this is very challenging to remove it as it uses techniques to avoid detection and removal. For example, the type of persistent malwares are rootkit, persistent threats, firmware, malware, and the techniques are code injection, cadral mode, operations, and files, less malware.
So as far as persistence, what about something like the startup folder? Persistence to like ensure that the malware stays on the computer. Like if you try to delete it, it has another component that says like it checks for that part that you deleted and says, oh hey, it's not there anymore. I gotta call back home and re-download it.
Exactly.
Like
it uses some code injection technique to inject malicious code into the estimate and process.
So what about something like
And it is challenging to remove because it uses techniques in detection and removal.
So maybe something like the startup folder, for example, you do like Windows R shell colon startup, and then everything in that folder runs.
Sorry, you are asking something. I missed your question. Can you repeat the question?
Yeah. So how can malware establish persistence? So one example is like the startup folder, where anything in that folder runs every time the computer starts.
Okay. So malware can download persistence through various techniques. For example, through firmware modification, malware can modify firmware to download and execute itself and schedule tasks. So creating scheduled tasks, malware can create scheduled tasks to download and execute itself at regular intervals and auto run out start. Malware can modify history keys to auto run itself when the system boots and service persistence. So here the malware can create services to download and execute itself, and DLL hacking. Malware can exploit the DLL search order to load itself instead of legitimate DLL and browse extensions. Malware can distinguish itself in estimate browser extension to download and execute itself. I think this is how persistence can be downloaded through various techniques.
Okay, great, thank you. Let's pivot. Great answer. So let's pivot to the email security gateway and how an email security gateway might be used in an enterprise environment.
Yeah. We are using Proofpoint and Microsoft Defender and Microsoft Purview.
So what does Defender or Proofpoint do?
We do the phishing analysis also. Sorry. Can you please repeat the question? You are asking something
Sure.
about Proof?
Just basically about what the email security gateway is for. What does it do in an enterprise security environment? It kind of acts like a very popular piece of network appliance, except it's related to email.
So email security tool is a appliance that will design to protect email systems, that will filter all the emails that are being received in organization. For example, it has multiple features. So it will protect email systems from various types of threats. For example, spam filtering. It will filter out spam, phishing, and unwanted emails and decreases the amount of email noise, freeing up the inbox and reducing the risk of email threats and mailer virus and malware scanning. So it will scan incoming and outgoing messages for virus, Trojan, and other type of malware, and prevent malware outbreaks. Also blocks malware from spreading to other systems and content, filtering mostly So it will block the unwanted content, filter out unwanted content such as adult material or other type of objectionable content, and enforce the female policies by blocking content that violates company policy or regulatory requirements, and email authentication. Also, the most important part will verify the email sender to prevent spoofing and phishing attacks, and block unauthorized emails that fail authentication check, and most important DLP. So detect and prevent data by identifying and blocking sensitive information from being sent via email, and encryption stay emails to prevent unauthorized access, encrypting sensitive information such as financial data, personal and identifiable information.
Oh, okay, great. So let's do something fun. This is it's a really fun way to kind of wrap up. So this is just kind of a scenario that's made up. If you're familiar with like the MITRE ATT&CK framework or the Lockheed Martin cyber kill chain, they're just attack frameworks that are referenceable to like patterns of attacks and things like that. So you can use those if you so choose. But here's the scenario. A colleague of mine and I have an ice cream store with really good flavors and top secret recipes for our awesome flavors. And we've gained a lot of attention and financial success. It's up to you as the threat actor to decide how you want to own our ice cream shop, whether you want to get domain admin, change everyone's password, or if you want to encrypt all our files and hold them for ransom, if you want to steal all of our money, whatever you want to do, the scenario is up to you. Maybe just pick one of those and walk me through how you would do it.
Yeah, I'm aware of the MITRE ATT&CK framework. So
you don't have to reference it directly. You can make it up as you go and just assume everything works. Like if you, for example, send a phishing email, a user clicks if you want. Just walk me through how you would achieve your chosen objective or your chosen end goal.
So it has some advisories. So if I understood, I think I can answer. So I can represent this in phishing email in MITRE ATT&CK. So MITRE ATT&CK.
You don't have to reference it directly. You could just tell it as a story.
So first, the technique is they will use some source engineering to take victim in the tactic. If the phishing email is used to gain initial access to victim system or network, and we are the procedure is spear phishing. The attacker will send a targeted phishing email to the victim. Often use social engineering tactic to mail the email appear estimate, then including attachment or link. Then when open or click install, small were all still information, then followed by the credential harassing. The phishing email attempts to take the victim info, diverging sensitive information, such as login credentials or financial information, etc.
Okay, so say that works. You have an initial access on an end user workstation. Say someone in the maintenance department clicked. Well, where do you go from there? So you have access to, maybe that's not a good, the maintenance guy. The maintenance engineer. Then you have access to its account. So what next?
So what is
you just make it up.
I lost your voice. What is the exact question you are asking?
So you have access to the maintenance engineer's account. How would you pivot from there to get higher access, maybe administrative access or access to a server? Or access to someone in the financial department's computer or user account.
Okay. I mean, you are asking me how can I gain an administrative access to the server?
Or the local machine. So your phishing campaign worked, and the user that clicked is the maintenance engineer. So how would you either escalate privileges or get access to a higher privileged account?
Gaining administrative access to server involved an unauthorized process and permissions. For example, authentication need valid credentials such as username and password or any other forms of access, tokens and remote access. Connect to server using tools like remote desktop protocol and privilege escalation also. So once logged in, need to additional permissions to gain admin access. So you just like using commands like logging in as admin user and manage permissions. So setting up access for others. I may use tools or commands to grant permissions and create that mentors.
Okay, and then but from there, how would you? So from the account, you could log in as admin to like the main server, and then you'd have everything pretty much. Maybe change the domain administrator's account password.
Yeah. So to log in the domain name server, I think so as per my understanding. So I need to enter the domain credentials, enter the domain username, password in the login prompt, and specify the domain name if prompted, and use the correct authentication methods such as Creeper.
Is there a way you could find the domain administrator password from the maintenance engineer's computer? Think of tools like Mimikatz, or I don't know what the other ones might be. There's a really, really easy way to do it where you basically like right click Task Manager and dump the memory, and then could you get the domain password from there?
Yeah, Mimikatz. I have knowledge about Mimikatz. So this is powerful tool for extracting and manipulating credentials, see a particular elemental environment. So it is for extracting credentials such as passwords, hashes, and Kravers tickets. So this is open source tool which that can be modified by users. So it extracts credentials from memory registers, and other sources, and it will extract password hashes and extract Kravers tickets, which can be used for authentication. So in my environment, we do also monitor for Mimikatz activity, such as presence of Mimikatz executable or suspicious credentials, extraction activity, and whenever we get any user alert, such as Mimikatz, we'll analyze system logs for suspicious activity, such as unusual login attempts or credential extraction.
Okay, thank you. Awesome. So we could use a tool like Mimikatz to get the domain admin credentials as we described it. Very cool. Are there any questions you would have for me about the role or anything of that nature?
Yeah, they showed me the JD, so I will like to know more about what tools are you using and what is the SIEM tools are you using and what are the idea tools I'm using, and is it an in-house SOC model or is it MSSP or hybrid?
So currently it's somewhat hybrid. We do have like a tiered traditional SOC that's well, very much aiming to be in-source tier 1, in-source tier 2, or basically the whole thing. We have the internal SOC and the tiered architecture with the tier 1 analysts, tier 2 analysts, and tier 3 analysts, which is our incident response team. So, well, the tiers can be somewhat blurred at certain points, but it becomes clear when it comes to certain working relationships with like law teams and things of that nature. The tier 2 doesn't necessarily have, but the IR team has a little bit more full and experience in those realms.
Yeah, good. That is good.
And as far as tools, like just pretty much what we covered: the EDR, DLP, the email security gateway, SIEM, things of that nature. I'm trying to think.
That's good.
Yeah. It's a lot. A lot of fun. So, I think the way these interviews would typically wrap up is like send my notes to the talent recruiter. The talent recruiter reviews them with the hiring manager. The hiring manager meets with the SOC tier 1 lead, or SOC tier 1 manager, and they will come to a decision, and they will get back to you within the next few days or the next week. I know they've been expediting this process as of late, so I wouldn't expect it to take very long.
I'm looking forward to work with you and want to be part of Amgen. Thanks for your time and hoping a fast year.
Thank you. It's very nice meeting you, Manisha. Thank you. Have a great day ahead.
Thank you. Have a great day. You too have.
Bye.